Diabetes is horrible. Medicine's important. But nothing's more important than stopping organ harvesting from people who have not given consent to taking their organs. And yet on this floor, I can't get my resolution heard because this smoking gun of 3 pages from the Chinese consulate has allowed you frozen and unable to allow my resolution to be heard. And so I have to amend each and every one of these bills or resolutions so that those in Falun Gong, the practitioners, will have their day. I don't understand why, because I've talked to all of you individually, and none of you are for genocide, and none of you allow this, and yet we can't have a moment where we get to vote on it. Now, I get that if you don't like this, you can vote against it. If you don't lay this on the table, you can speak against it. But to completely sweep it under the carpet and not allow your constituents to see where you stand when it comes to genocide in our time is outrageous to me. I do not understand how the Chinese government can have so much control over leadership on this floor that you would move the resolution into Rules Committee and force me to amend all these resolutions. Why won't you simply allow me as a senator to have my opinion? And let's vote on this. Let's vote on this amendment. Don't table it. Bring it out in the light of day. The only way that we can address these types of issues is bringing them out in the sun. Now, I can tell you that the UN has taken similar steps. I can tell you that the World Health Organization has taken similar steps. These are not ultra-conservative groups by any means, and yet they understand the importance of taking these steps and shining a light on the practices against Falun Dafa. And yet on this floor, we can't even allow a debate on it. We can't allow any vote on it whatsoever. What is it that you're so afraid of? Who in your district, other than these 3 pages from the Chinese consulate, who have come out in opposition of this amendment? Who else is there? When do we get to start standing up for people and not putting politics above people? When do we have a loud, unified voice in one direction or not? And I'm not saying you have to vote for it. I'm just saying, shouldn't we be allowed, shouldn't me, as a super minority on this floor, be allowed to have a voice on this floor? And yet I don't, because you're going to table it. We're not going to have a debate. We'll never see how anybody votes on it. I mean, this is a clever way of killing a resolution without voting. When people ask you, where did you vote on this? You say, well, I'm sorry, I couldn't because we tabled it. But are you going to tell them
Senator Anderson,
I voted to table it?
Senator Anderson, can you stick to the amendments, please?
Yeah, I am, because the next motion will be addressing it. I won't have a redress to it, so I'm preemptively addressing it in the kindest of words. So when they ask you, are you going to be honest? Are you going to say, I tabled it so I wouldn't have to vote on it? Or are you going to say, no, I tabled it because I was going to vote against it anyway? Just be honest. Be loud and proud. I'm loud and proud for what I do on this floor. I don't hide behind procedure. You don't see me shirking my responsibility. I'm asking you not to shirk your responsibility. If you don't believe that Falun Gong have been persecuted, then say so. And if you do believe that they've been persecuted and had their body parts harvested against their will, then you can vote for it. But there's only 3 elements in this resolution. By the way, one of those elements is House Resolution 343 that passed the floor of the Congress last year, and 17 Democrats voted for it and co-authored it. Many of them, you're their constituent. So my question to you is, why do they vote for it and you can't? In fact, you can't even allow it to be heard on this floor. You're so shivering in fear from the Chinese consulate, you won't even allow it to be debated on this floor. At least our Congress has the backbone to have the debate on the floor. I urge you not to table this. I urge you to allow it to come to the floor. I am not going to stop amending resolutions until there's justice. So you can read papers, you can ignore me, you can do anything you want, but you know who's hearing me? Your constituents. And they want to know where you stood. When this Holocaust occurred, did you table it or did you vote on it? Did you have a voice? Have some courage. Hey, where's the courage campaign anyway? I mean, they're all about courage. Let's see some courage.